You just lost $3 million today, I said, sliding the check across the glossy conference table. The three men across from me stared like they'd just swallowed something sharp. I didn't raise my voice, didn't need to. The weight of those words landed harder than any yelling could have. 24 hours earlier, I was just another passenger trying to get to the West Coast on time. My name's Dr. Lauren Carter. I run MediSurge Labs, a biotech company that went from a cramped basement in Baltimore to a $500 million powerhouse in under a decade. We develop treatments that help people walk again after spinal injuries. That morning, I wasn't thinking about money or contracts or battles. I was thinking about the keynote speech I had to give at the Pacific Medical Innovation Summit in San Francisco, and the $20 million deal waiting for me if I impressed the investors afterward. I was running late, weaving through Atlanta International with my carry-on in one hand, phone in the other, scanning the departure board. The first-class ticket had been booked months ago. I'm a platinum member with Falcon Air. They know my name, or at least they should have. When I got to the gate, the agent recognized me right away. Dr. Carter saw you in Health Tech Weekly last month, he said, scanning my boarding pass. Big fan of your work. Nice moment. Made me think maybe this trip was turning around. I stepped on board. A couple of crew members smiled and nodded. One even mentioning his aunt had benefited from a treatment my team developed. Then I saw her blonde bob. Pinched smile name tag, said, Melissa. The way her eyes flicked over me, up, down, slow, felt like an X-ray for flaws she was hoping to find. I brushed it off and found my seat 1A. Window spacious, perfect for spreading out my notes. I'd just taken my first sip of champagne when a shadow fell over me. You're in my seat, a man's voice said. I looked up at a tall, silver-haired guy in an Italian suit. His boarding pass was twitching in his hand like it wanted to slap the air between us. Actually, I said as calmly as I could, this is 1A, and that's what I was assigned. Before I could show him my ticket, Melissa appeared like she'd been waiting for this cue. Is there a problem here, Mr. Keaton? She asked. Her whole body angled toward him like I was the wallpaper. Yes, he said, lowering his voice just enough to sound annoyed but dignified. I always sit in 1A, and this woman is in my seat. I held out my ticket. She glanced at it like it was yesterday's grocery list, then turned back to him. Let me see yours, sir. She studied it longer than mine, then frowned. It does show you in 1A. Must be a system error. I've got the confirmation right here, I said, pulling up the Falcon Air app on my phone, showing the seat my platinum status. She didn't even pretend to hide the skepticism. Our system's down for updates. Mr. Keaton is one of our most valued customers. There's another first-class seat in 2C you could take. Keaton muttered just loud enough for nearby passengers. These people always think they can sit anywhere. I felt that sting in my spine, but kept my voice even. I booked this seat for a reason. I have work to do on this flight. Melissa's lips tightened. I'll call a supervisor. Minutes later, a man with a perfect pilot's tan walked up. Lauren, there's another seat available. Can we just get you settled so we can depart? Captain, I said, you've confirmed this is a system error. Why am I the one being asked to move? He sighed. If we can't resolve this security, we'll have to. And just like that, two officers appeared. One broad and heavy-set stepped forward. Ma'am, gather your belongings and come with us. On what grounds, I asked. No answer. Just a hand on my arm. Then the cold snap of metal around my wrists. Gasps from passengers, phones up, recording. I heard someone whisper, finally enforcing the rules, and someone else mutter, always playing the victim. They marched me off that plane like I was dangerous. Through the terminal, through the stairs, into a gray room with no windows and a metal table bolted to the floor. The security supervisor sat across from me, flipping through my ID like it was fake. So you claim you're a CEO, he said, not looking up. And you were just sitting there. That's exactly what happened, I told him. Call my company. Check your own manifest. This isn't complicated. But he wasn't in any rush until another officer walked in, a tall black man named Eric, and quietly said something in his ear. Suddenly, the cuffs were off. "We've verified your identity," Eric said. And the incident report doesn't match procedure. 10 minutes later, Falcon Air's customer relations director came rushing in out of breath. "Dr. Carter, we're horrified. This isn't who we are." I asked for my phone, called my COO. "Suspend the partnership," I said. "We're not giving them a cent." See, for months, Falcon Air had been courting us for a $3 million diversity initiative. They wanted our name on their ads, our logo in their campaigns. Now that check was going to sit in my bag until I decided how to use it. By the time I walked out of that airport, videos of my removal were everywhere. The hashtag #FlyFalconFair was trending ironically, people using it to demand boycotts. Their stock slid 3 points before lunch. That night, my team gathered in a hotel suite. My legal counsel laid out options: settle quietly for a large sum or go public push for real changes. We didn't sleep much. The next morning, I was in Falcon Air's top floor boardroom facing their CEO, legal chief, and head of operations. They slid a folder across the table. Our apology and compensation package. I didn't touch it. Instead, I opened my laptop and hit play. Multiple videos from the plane, every angle of me staying calm while being told to move every second of them, ignoring the fact we both had the same seat assignment. The executive squirmed. "This isn't about money for me," I said. "This is about the fact that in the last 3 years you've had 24 other incidents where passengers of color were removed under questionable circumstances. And here I pushed a stack of printed complaints forward. These are from your own staff, ignored every time. Their CEO tried to pivot. We're prepared to increase. You're missing the point," I cut in. "This is an ultimatum. Either you implement the reforms I'm about to list: mandatory anti-bias training, new removal protocols, independent review board, public reporting, and tying executive bonuses to diversity outcomes, or I walk out, shred this contract, and tell the world exactly how you operate." Silence. "Then, we'll need to discuss with our board. You've got 2 hours, I said, standing. "At 3 p.m., I'm holding a press conference. Your choice whether I say you stepped up or doubled down." Outside the plaza was packed with reporters. I told them exactly what had happened without theatrics, just the truth. And I made it clear this wasn't just about me. It was about every traveler who's been judged before they've even buckled a seatbelt. By evening, their stock had dropped another 7 points. Politicians were calling for hearings. Competing airlines were scrambling to issue statements about their commitment to inclusion. 2 days later, Falcon's CEO asked to meet alone. He looked like he hadn't slept. "My daughter asked me how I could lead a company where this happens," he admitted. "The board has approved your full reform package. Signatures are here. I read it twice. It was all there: training protocols, oversight, transparency, even disciplinary action against the crew involved." For the first time since that morning in Atlanta, I let myself exhale. The months that followed weren't quiet. There were congressional hearings. Other airlines adopted similar policies. Even the man who'd claimed my seat, Robert Keaton, came to apologize. "I never questioned why I always got priority," he told me. "I see it now." He went on to start his own company-wide bias training. 6 months later, I boarded another Falcon Air flight deliberately to see if the culture had shifted. The crew greeted me with the same warmth they gave everyone else boarding. My seat was exactly as booked. No glances, no second guessing. Before takeoff, I thought about that check, the one I slid across the table. $3 million. That's what their prejudice cost them. But the real price, the years of trust they'd have to earn back, not just from me, but from every passenger who'd ever felt like they didn't belong where they'd paid to be. So now I'm asking you, if you were in my place, would you have taken the money and walked away? Or would you have stayed in the fight until the system itself had to change? Tell me in the comments, because this conversation, it's far from over.